Edfu is on the west bank of Nile River and about 2 hours from Aswan north. Our cruise ship started off from Aswan at late night and docked at Edfu at midnight. We got up at 4 a.m. to be the first to enter Edfu Temple to avoid crowd. Edfu was built in the Ptolemaic Kingdom between 237 and 57 BC, same era of Temple of Kom-Ombo. Edfu Temple is one of the largest and well-preserved ancient Egypt temple. When you entered the temple as if you entered a book, full of inscriptions on the wall, room by room, the book tells a story of the creation of the world. The ancient Egyptian believed that the world began with entirely covered by water and a land struggle to close to the surface and reeds grow up on it with help of falcon. The reeds were the germ cell for the temple of Edfu, and here Horus landed, as a falcon. A force approached in the form of a bird and fed Horus, the lord of Edfu. This ritual was the beginning of the cult of Edfu. The Temple of Edfu consists of a main entrance, a courtyard, and a chapel. The three parts of the temple are aligned along a main axis. Due to the temple's simple plan, the Temple of Edfu is considered to be the finest classic example of an ancient Egyptian temple, and became a blueprint of later Egyptian temples. After visiting Edfu, we continued our journey towards Luxor. During the 4-hour sail, we indulged in rare leisure time on the boat, soaking in the scenery along both banks of the Nile. As we approached Luxor, we traversed the Esna navigation lock, where the river became calm and our boat slowed down. Many small boats approached ours, offering Egyptian products such as clothing and tablecloths. They would toss the wrapped items to us, and in return, we would toss money back to them, all while our vessels maintained a steady course.
Money here, okay? Hold on.
I also got a chance to steal the boat with captain's permission. An interesting experience. We arrived in Luxor afternoon and immediately we were gathered and taken to Karnak Temple. The history of the Karnak complex is largely the history of Thebes and its changing role in the culture. Thebes was the capital of Egypt for long periods during the Middle Kingdom and New Kingdom eras. It comprises a vast mix of temples, pylons, chapels, and other buildings near Luxor, Egypt. Construction at the complex began during the reign of Senusret I, reigned 1971-1926 BCE in the Middle Kingdom, and continued into the Ptolemaic Kingdom, which was from 305-30 BCE, although most of the extant buildings date from the New Kingdom. The area around Karnak was the ancient Egyptian and the main place of worship of the 18th dynastic Theban triad, with the god Amun as its head. It is part of the monumental city of Thebes, and in 1979 it was added to the UNESCO World Heritage List along with the rest of the city. Major construction work in the precinct of Amun-Re took place during the 18th dynasty. Almost all the 14 pharaohs of that dynasty added something to the temple site, so it contains various religious features and contents. Thutmose I erected an enclosure wall connecting the fourth and fifth pylons. Hatshepsut had monuments constructed and also restored the original precinct of Mut that had been ravaged by the foreign rulers during the Hyksos occupation. She had twin obelisks, at the time the tallest in the world, erected at the entrance to the temple. One still stands, as the second tallest ancient obelisk still standing on Earth. The other has toppled and is broken. Another famous feature of the temple is Hypostyle Hall, built by Ramesses II. It consists of a forest of 134 giant sandstone columns in the form of papyrus stalks. 12 great columns in its central surpass 20 meters. These columns appeared in many famous movies like Death of the Nile and others. We often marvel at how the ancient Egyptians constructed towering structures without the aid of modern machinery. Our Egyptian guide provided an explanation. They utilized a technique involving built-up mounds made from a mixture of soil, sand, and limestone as temporary supports during construction. These mounds, or wedges, were strategically placed alongside the building and later removed. The image captures one of these wedges that has yet to be removed, offering a glimpse into the ingenious methods employed by ancient builders. Outside of the temple, there is a statue of Scarab, and it is most popular good luck charm from ancient Egypt. The ancient Egyptians believed that the scarab was the earthly manifestation of the god Khepri and pushed the sun across the sky each day, only to disappear and magically reappear the next morning. It is said that walking around the statue 3 times brings good fortune. The Karnak and Luxor Temples are linked by a thoroughfare known as the Avenue of Sphinxes, lined with Sphinx statues along its impressive 2.7-kilometer length. The restoration and excavation took 7 decades from 1949 and opened to public in 2021. Due to time constraints, we took a bus to Luxor Temple instead of walking through it. Luxor was constructed approximately 1400 BCE. It was one of the 2 primary temples on the east bank, the other being Karnak. Unlike the other temples in Thebes, Luxor Temple is not dedicated to a cult god or a deified version of the pharaoh in death. Instead, Luxor Temple is dedicated to the rejuvenation of kingship. Each of these 3 temples holds significance in Egyptian civilization, with distinct features and functions throughout Egyptian history. After visiting the 3 temples, we enjoyed a delightful dinner at a local restaurant in Luxor, where we also celebrated the 83rd birthday of the oldest lady in our tour group. Following our dinner festivities, we returned to our cruise ship, where a local Egyptian dancer treated us to a mesmerizing traditional dance performance, bringing the perfect end to our memorable day of exploration.